Hello, and welcome to the Spiritual Lounge with Courtney
and Nina
and Oliver.
And today we're talking all about the 1111 portal.
Yes.
What you need to know.
What it is, all the fun.
All the fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into it. So, Nina, what would you say is the 1111 portal?
So, 1111, of course, is November 11th.
Yes.
And
probably should explain that.
Yes. And we see angel numbers all the time, and days that have these repeating patterns in them are always going to be auspicious. They have
a portal day.
Yes. And so what does a portal even mean, really? Because sometimes it seems maybe so spiritually out there that it's like, okay, that might be for other people, but not for me.
Yeah, like what does it mean for me?
Yes. And so that's kind of what we want to do with this podcast is demystifying some of these mystical concepts that really aren't that out there when you break it down.
100%.
Yeah. So 1111 at its core is a day where the energy is heightened. So with these kind of number synchronicity days, they're a great time to focus on setting intentions, setting goals, setting things you want to manifest, getting really clear about it, because the clarity and the energy that you're putting behind these things, they're amplified on these so-called portal days.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to me as you kind of go through these portal days, because you hear so much different information about it of what is a portal day? What type of ritual should I be doing?
Yeah.
What things to avoid? Like the number one thing I was always told was like, don't drink any alcohol. Like the veil is thinner. Like if you drink alcohol, which we don't do a ton, but it's not a day to like have a glass of wine and think about your dreams. It seems to me that it's more of, the veil's a little thinner. This is a time where, you can really kind of manifest, put your goals together, really pause and reflect on that. So what sort of like rituals would you suggest doing on the 1111 portal?
I mean, I love, you can either do a vision board, which is amazing.
Love vision boards.
Vision boards are the best.
If you haven't done one, try it out. Trust me. Like I know it seems like a 5-year-old's project, but it's fun. Is so fun. And it brings that like
it does, and it gives you a reminder every time you look at it at where you're wanting to go.
Yeah.
And what you're wanting to call into your life, and essentially what you're aligning yourself to. It keeps you on track.
It does.
Another great thing to do is any kind of journaling. So any list making is great too. And essentially you want to take this opportunity to hone in on what you want, because when you get really clear about things, you're saying yes to what you want, but you're also ruling out a bunch of other stuff.
Is it like releasing or just like ruling out? So like give me an example. So if you wanted to bring in a better job.
Especially people who are multi-passionate. I almost feel like manifesting can be more challenging for multi-passionate people, because everything sounds like a good idea. So sometimes you don't make any decisions, and then
you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, months go by so quickly. Like time moves forward and you're like, why am I not able to bring anything into my life? Or why does it seem like very slow going?
Yeah.
And it's usually that way because when you're entertaining so many ideas, there's not really strong energy behind one specific thing.
Yeah.
It's your energy is being kind of fractured.
It's like put thin.
Yes.
Like you're like what is that called?
Yeah.
Your energy's been like thinned out. So you're not like focusing on one thing. It's like when you're doing a goal and you're like, I want to lose 10 pounds. And you're like, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m.
Yes.
I'm going to build a night routine. And then like a week into it, you're like, this is way too much.
Exactly.
It's too thin.
And that's why sometimes, and it's not to say you need to limit yourself, but if you're kind of have been in a season where you haven't brought a lot of new things into your life, or you feel like you've been trying to manifest something forever and it's just not coming, one of the biggest things you can do is use this 1111 portal as a moment of clarity to hone in on a couple things that feel like a current yes. Remember, we don't have to go like
dream
so
life, everything
far in the future. Exactly. We can kind of pull back a little and see where that's going to take us.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a quick moment here. We will do a weekly tarot card reading. So we'll pass you over to that.
Yeah, and take a look at the energy that is coming through
for this week's forecast.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. We'll be back soon.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to your Spiritual Lounge podcast weekly tarot reading. So this is going to be an energy update for the 11/11 portal, which is just a fun, magical day. It's a great day to focus on your goals. It's a great day to focus on what your heart truly wants. Let's see. Okay, there is no panic here. This is a dramatic card. Death. Now, death is not going to mean literal death in this case. This is the ending of a chapter. And what I'm getting really strongly through this is that for a long time, you've been making the decisions not really from what you truly desire. And I'm almost picking up on some fear here. There's some fear of maybe not being able to have what you actually want. There's a fear of it like you're going to be left in the cold. When you see this Five of Pentacles, not only this more of a financial hardship card, this is also a card of feeling like things have just not worked out for you. And it's kind of hardened your heart a little bit. It's easy to go into a place of, oh, I'm just going to be realistic about life. And sometimes when we're realistic, look, I'm not saying go be like super delulu here and just, throw caution to the wind and make bad decisions. But I'm also saying you're spending a lot of time talking yourself into things that you don't actually truly want, but they seem more realistic. They seem more likely to happen. But funny enough, you're not able to get your energy behind this. Nine of Pentacles come up. This is very much, I call this like the girl boss card. This is just like a woman. She's financially prosperous. She's well dressed. She's got a bougie villa in the back and an exotic bird. Why not? And that's what's available for you. I'm sensing a lot of you are in the entrepreneurial route here. You got to still think big. You got to still have goals for yourself that are a little bit of a stretch. If it's too realistic, it's not also going to take you in that direction that you want to go. And Spirit's really coming through on this one where you might need to do a little heart healing on this. Courtney has a whole website full of sound bath healings that you can listen to help kind of bridge that gap if there's still stuff stuck in your field, some heavy energy that's not letting you move forward. There's definitely that fear here, but the portal is an opportunity where you can clear that. You're not meant to bring this energy of being out in the cold, of having things not work out, of feeling kind of like, look at their posture too. It's kind of hunched over. It's not moving forward with the confidence of the Nine of Pentacles, right? We're wanting to move forward here with your dreams, with the energy that you truly want. And the Fool is that inner child. The Fool is starting a journey where everything's possible. And that's possible for you on this 11/11 portal. So maybe do a little healing if you need to. Take a look at what's still in your field that is holding you back, and be bold, be courageous, and choose the life that you really want, because it's available for you. So thank you for joining me for this weekly tarot reading here on the Spiritual Lounge podcast. Again, today is a special one. It's 11/11, and the world is truly your oyster.
And welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the weekly forecast of our tarot cards with Nina here. We'll jump back into the 11/11 portal, all the things about it, what to know, what to do, what not to do. And what to expect.
And I liked where our conversation was going with the clarity. I really feel like that's the message coming through for this year's 11/11 portal, is kind of scaling back a little bit. I feel like we're always encouraged to dream big, to go, if 100 is great, go to 150, right? And
we're not saying not do that.
Yeah, but sometimes to go fast, you got to go slow. It's like a weird thing. And a great example of this in my own life, which is something I've manifested recently, was manifesting in-person tarot readings. I was kind of exclusively doing Zoom. And I had been wanting to have a space where I could do in-person sessions. I love getting to do like the one-on-one energy with people. It still works with Zoom, but it's fun to get to be at a very vibey place and
100%.
have a local clientele as well. And so I had always been kind of over planning that in my mind and essentially kind of creating a lot of stress around it, making it more complicated than it needed to be, because I was focusing on all these different things with it too. It wasn't just finding the perfect space to do that. It was like I was getting way too involved in problems that hadn't even come up yet.
Yeah, just too far down the rabbit hole.
And that really happens. So it's easy to go down that path when you are creating goals and you are looking
100%.
towards the future.
100%.
But for me, it was like, you know what? I just need to focus on the next step, which is my having an in-person place. And that kind of came out very naturally when I pulled back my energy and just focused on, okay, I don't need to focus on all of these details that haven't arisen yet, because it's just fracturing my energy. What I did was I pulled back. I just focused on the one thing, which was, okay, I'm going to be doing in-person sessions. I don't need to be spending all my energy thinking about all this other stuff. And then, of course, it came in.
It happened.
It happened. Tuesdays at the store.
I love it.
I have a spot now. I don't even have to, like, I'm not responsible for any of those things that I thought I would be, too.
Yeah, which is like
so
funny. Yes.
Yeah. But it only happened that way because I pulled my energy back, because I quit worrying about all the stuff that wasn't even a problem yet. And it turns out it's not a problem now either.
I know. It's like the overthinking of it, you know, and having to pause and really be in the moment and be like, what exactly do you want?
Exactly. So I'm curious. Have you had a moment like that recently?
I wouldn't say it's like super, super recent, but I feel like that's how it was when I started dating. When I was like, I want to find my person. I always joke with Nathan, like, totally manifested you, but like, no, he's a real person. So like, I always laugh, like, he just called you in. But you know, go through that process of getting out there and, you know, dating and finding your person and figuring out, you know, what's out there. You know, when you go through it, I was like, okay, how do we go about this? What's the best way? Like, putting all this energy, and I was like, okay, like, this is just a lot, and like, let me just take it from like a date to date. And I think,
and it's so easy to get in your head with it.
Or like even like a first date with someone, you're like, can I envision my life with them? And I feel like women, we do that. We're like, he doesn't have these things checked off. And I worked with this amazing femininity coach at time, and she was just awesome. She was like, okay, like, just pause and be like, can I hang out with him one more time? Like, am I interested in doing that?
Yes.
And I think that was like such an important piece to it, of like that pause and be like, let's be in the moment instead of thinking
100%.
15 steps ahead. And I think it's, for me, it's a daily reminder of like, okay, like, pause, take a step back for a second, and then move forward. Because, you know, I think in general as women and just people who are, you know, excited about things, like, I'm always like, oh, I have a million ideas. You get to this place where you think 15 steps ahead, or at least I do. And having that moment to pause, I feel like that really helps me like cultivate that relationship with Nathan and kind of bring that in. And so we always joke about it. We're like, you know, we manifested, but realistically, you know, our relationship and our story was like, we literally lived 20 to 30 miles away from each other our entire lives, and in a completely different state. Moved to Arizona.
And you just can't even make this stuff up.
Yeah, and it's like, how come all of a sudden it was like, you know? And so it's kind of like those timelines we've talked about previously. And so, you know, with 11/11, you know, that was something, I think it was like last year, I was like, oh, I'm manifesting my person and all these things, or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then here we are, you know? And so I think you're dead on, like, pick a couple things and really just kind of focus and figure out.
And focus on the core of that desire, not all of these things that.
Yeah. And we're not saying don't dream big.
Totally.
Like, dream big, but think about like the step that was going to take, right? Like, if your step is to like, I'm going to run $1 billion business. Awesome. But like, what's that first step? Like, getting out there, you know, whatever that is. And so I think that's kind of what we're saying, is like, focus on those core things.
And when you feel yourself getting overwhelmed, or when you feel yourself starting to maybe even not want the manifestation anymore because it feels so stressy and kind of icky, pull back, go back to the original desire and focus on that.
I 100% agree. So, yay. Well, I hope you guys liked our little special here on the 11/11 portal. We hope you have a beautiful day.
Magical day.
Yes. Like, spend some time, journal things out. My one more note on that is
maybe a vision board.
Yes. And if you're going to journal, like, don't get overwhelmed with journaling. Like, so many people are like, these millions of prompts. You just
keep it light, keep it fun.
Feel what you need to write it all out. Envision these things. Take a moment to pause
and if you want extra credit,
leave
us a comment.
Yes.
And share with us your top, like the one thing.
Yep.
If you could wave a magic wand,
yes,
and bring anything into your life on
what
this
would
1111 portal, what would that be?
Yes.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, stay tuned after this for a magical sound bath to get you into this space to journal, to create your vision board, kind of drop you into your body as we enjoy this 1111 portal. Thanks for joining. Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this mindful moment on the 1111 portal day. Excited to have you join me here. Let's take a few moments, get comfortable, sit down or lay, and begin to close down your eyes. Let's start by taking a few deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And in through your nose and out through your mouth. On this beautiful 1111 portal, the universe is open to your manifestations, to your goals, helping you to align to a new life and for something bigger. As we come into this 1111 portal, we pause, ground ourselves, and make sure that we're taking a quick step back to look at the bigger picture. As we look forward, we look at a few goals that we would like to manifest through this portal. We envision these with great detail. Knowing that they are here and something that you can absolutely reach. Let's breathe in all of our goals and breathe out and release what is no longer serving us.
As we slowly come back into the room, wiggling our fingers and toes, bringing back all that we imagined, all of our manifestations. Slowly blink open your eyes and rejoin me in the room. You can take the next few moments after this to journal out or write down more of your manifestations for the 1111 portal. I hope you enjoyed this mindful moment, and we will see you next week.